Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. This lecture is so important. So, the title is Pathogens. And the subtitles or main subtitle is Coronaviruses Disease 2019, COVID-19. However, pathogens as introduction to study of coronaviruses. So let us define what is the meaning of pathogen. Pathogen, it is a bioagent that can cause disease or illness. So, what is the meaning or what is the purpose to study that coronavirus disease? It is a topic subject nowadays, causing terror to all people in the world. And for this reason, it was chosen as an important lecture. Okay. Firstly, the name of coronaviruses. Coronaviruses is derived from the Latin corona. Corona meaning crown or halo, which refers to the characteristics appearance of that crown. This crown is found on a group of lipid-enveloped spherical shaped viruses, which their genomics are RNA viruses, which causing a variety of diseases in human and other animals. Whereas this crown novel characteristics for such group of viruses, and abbreviated as COVID-19. However, it must be studied from such subject. It must be studied from biological point of view, in terms of composition, classification, symptoms, procedure of diagnosis, and how to prevent us from that dangerous disease. Besides, the RNA and amino acids sequencing of that causing viruses. And what is done in biological and pharmaceutical laboratories to find the treatment and vaccination. So, let's go to the first slide. What are the pathogens? Pathogens, or pathogen as previously we defined, is infectious agent, is a biological agent that causes diseases or illness to its host. Host refers to human, animal, and or plants also. So, what are the 6 types of pathogens. We can summarize these pathogens in this table. As you see, parasites such as helminthes, worms, tapeworm, scaris, ankylostoma, bilharzia, and so on. Protozoa or protozoans such as Plasmodium malaria, Entamoeba histolytica, which causes amoebic dysentery, fungi such as tinea, which is found between wet toys. Also, there is prokaryotes such as bacteria from this diseases which are caused by bacteria, leprosy, الجذام, مرض الجذام, leprosy, pneumonia, مرض التهاب الرئوي, and also there is viruses, diseases such as HIV virus. This virus causing AIDS disease, acquired immunity deficiency syndrome, this is abbreviation to it, and also there is also viruses disease such as HAV, HPV, HCV, which causes hepatitis diseases for the liver. And finally, we found that the barion, which is not or non-living acellular things, barion is a protein molecule or polypeptide causing some disease, such as the most famous is a cow disease, جنون البقر. So we can summarize this is the type of pathogenic organisms as 6 main types. Another again: parasites, protozoa, fungi, prokaryotes, viruses, baryons. Okay. All the previously mentioned pathogens are involved in a science called etiology. Etiology meaning that the study of cause, set of causes, or manner of causations of a disease or illness condition. So, this figure, which you see on the right hand, represents the different types of pathogens and their shapes. Okay, this is a fungi, represents with some examples such as a candida, which causes irritation for eyes, vaginitis, yeast infections, bowling greens, which maybe cause irritation of eyes, also, and or releasing histamine for the skin. Prokaryotes represents with the bacteria, structure of bacteria, as you see, very simple. For example, mesosomes represents replaced to the mitochondria, cytoplasm having a nucleoid area as DNA or bacterial chromosomes, ribosomes for amino acid synthesis as a protein the cell needed to eat. Plasmids, which is additional genomic of bacteria to at which the new genes added to it, such as antibiotic or anti-pesticidal or anti-bad conditions such as dryness. These new traits, genetic traits, are added in this plasmid. But in the original DNA, as a chromosome, bacterial chromosomes having the main genetic traits of this species, pilus, which connect between the two bacteria at the same species, at which the two individuals bacterial cells facing and exchange their plasmid, so each one have more genes to protect and against the bad conditions. Finally, we found that the viruses, it is a main subject today. Viruses, can you determine that the spikes which forming a crown envelope covering the nucleic acid. Nucleic acid may be DNA, deoxyribonucleic acid, or RNA, ribonucleic acid. At the case of coronaviruses, the nucleic acid is represented with RNA single-stranded. Okay, let's go to another slide. This table showing the different types of pathogens and their shapes. We will focus just only the viruses, the main subject today. The characteristics of viruses, as you see, the cell. Actually, viruses haven't cellular structure, as we know. So it is, we can say, particles containing nucleic acid. These particles enveloped or covered with protein, but haven't cytoplasm, mitochondria, ribosomes, and so on. All the organelles of any cell are absent in viruses. Okay. The second characteristics is the type of nucleus. Also, there is a definite shape, as you studied before, in any cell in these viruses, but just only nucleic acid may be attached with specific proteins as a nucleocapsid. Nucleic acid may be either DNA or RNA. Mitochondria are also absent. Methods of replication. There is no definite replication of viruses, just either binary division, mitosis, meiosis, emitosis, all types of cell divisions. But they pushed and forced in both the host cells to produce several copies and of these bioparticles. Then these host cells were ruptured to release a large number of such viruses, which reinfect again the intact cells. The core of subject today called the coronavirus disease 2019, in abbreviation called COVID-19. This is led to study in like that when you called coronavirus diseases 2019 in abbreviation like that, corona, CO VI D dash and 19. Okay, this abbreviation is derived from these letters, okay, and 19. So it is called COVID-19. What is the coronaviruses? Coronaviruses are a large family of viruses that are common in people and many different species of animal, including camels, cattle, cats, anteaters, and bats. Okay? Rarely animal coronaviruses can infect people as zoonosis diseases. Zoonosis diseases, it is the disease which transferred from animal to human or vice versa. Okay? At which this concept meaning zoonosis, meaning the common diseases between animals and human, like that in coronavirus. Okay, and then spread between people, such as with MERS-CoV, SARS-CoV, and SARS-CoV-2. SARS-CoV-2, which causes the COVID-19, as a novel strain named COVID-19. Okay, and is derived from novel. Novel meaning new strain. Okay, so this COVID disease, of coronavirus is related to or derived from the SARS-CoV-2. This strain is the same in COVID-19. Okay, SARS-CoV-2, it is the same in COVID-19. Okay, classification of coronaviruses. Coronaviruses are classified on the basis of the crown or halo like appearance which found on the envelope. The structure of envelope is glycoprotein, and on characteristics and other features depending on the chemistry and replication of this virus. So viruses, coronaviruses, when classified, this is dependent on the glycoprotein envelope taking halo or crown appearance, beside the chemistry and replication of these viruses. Okay, the beta curves of beta curves of the greatest clinical importance concerning human are from a lineage: sphere, acute respiratory syndrome, okay, coronavirus, where for all these words for SARS-CoV, okay, SARS is arised from sphere, S, acute, A, respiratory, R, syndrome, S, coronavirus, COV, okay, and SARS-CoV-2, which called in previous COVID-19, okay, SARS-CoV-2, it is the same COVID-19. This is beta lineage, from as a beta lineage meaning characters, genetic characters which transferred from generation to next generation, okay, lineage, like that breeding or line also. And MERS-CoV of the C lineage. MERS is summarized from these words: middle, الأم, eastern, الE, ME, respiratory, R, syndrome, الAS, coronavirus, V, corona, okay, is the first beta coronaviruses. So beta cause that have caused epidemic diseases in humans generally induce fever and respiratory symptoms. Respiratory symptoms like that pneumonia syndrome, okay. They include highly pathogenic types of coronaviruses, which are the following types: SARS-CoV, meaning sphere, acute respiratory syndrome, okay. MERS-CoV, meaning middle east respiratory syndrome. SARS-CoV-2, meaning coronaviruses which is COVID-19. The classification of these viruses, or the taxonomy: order Nidoviralis, family Coronaviridae, subfamily Orsocoronavirini. Example: coronaviruses. Okay, order Nidoviralis, family Coronaviridae, subfamily Orsocoronavirini. Examples: corona. This is the structure of the variants as mentioned in the previous taxonomy or types of coronaviruses. This is first one is MERS-CoV. This is the structure of this virus, and this is the structure of SARS-CoV-1. Okay, nucleocapsid protein. This is also nucleocapsid proteins containing protein, and also there is RNA, single-stranded RNA, and covered with envelope of protein. And this is a spike, which causes the crown shaped of this virus. Okay, this is the SARS. That is the SARS-CoV-1. The second type of SARS-CoV-2, which is called novel COVID-19, and which is spread now between people. You see that is characterized with this spike protein. The most signs and symptoms of coronavirus diseases COVID-19 is represented with these symptoms. In generally, the systemic symptoms includes fever, rising of body temperature, fatigue, exhausting. Also, there is respiratory symptoms such as a dry cough, shortness of breath. Those are the most symptoms which recorded in this disease. Okay, there is some symptoms, but are less common, like sore throat, runny nose, sneezing. Also, there is also the some circulatory symptoms, which represented by decrease of white disease, the kidney suffering from decreased their functions. Okay, and in some cases, some patients suffering from diarrhea. Okay, these signs meaning these symptoms uncommon. Okay, like sore throat, runny nose, sneezing, loss of kidney function tests, and diarrhea. All these symptoms, the signs and symptoms of coronavirus disease is COVID-19. This disease seen in 2019-2020 as outbreak, then spread between the world as epidemic disease. This is caused by severe acute respiratory syndrome, coronaviruses, SARS-CoV-2, whereas the people may have a few symptoms or develop fever, cough, shortness of breath. This is led to some cases into progress to pneumonia. This pneumonia and the multi-organ failure, pneumonia in the lungs and the other organs, such as suffering from failure, such as kidney. Okay. The WHO has declared that 2019-2020 coronavirus outbreak to be a public health emergency of international concern. Okay. As of 1 March 2020, China, Hong Kong, Iran, Italy, Japan, Singapore, South Korea, and the United States are areas having evidence of community transmission of this disease, and then spread in most world countries as epidemic. Okay. You can go to the second part, which dealt with how to prevent yourself from infection with these viruses, and the procedure of lab diagnosis, and also the software of sequencing RNA and amino acids of coronaviruses, beside the biological and pharmaceutical labs to find a cure or vaccination for this disease.